What's going on, guys? Crypto Poppy here. In today's video, we have one of the most exciting NFT drops coming sometime soon. And in this video, I have Ben Jammin as well as the founders of Chicken Derby NFT. And we talk about what we can expect and anticipate before the Chicken Derby NFT drop. Guys, I hope you enjoy this conversation. I sure did. Let's get it! All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. And boy, am I pumped for this episode. Today, joining us, we have Ben Jammin. If you don't know who he is, and clearly you're not on Twitter, one of my ape boys that I've been following ever since I aped into NBA Top Shot and other NFTs. And with us, we have one of the founders from Chicken Derby. Guys, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? We'll start with Ben Jammin.
All right, great. So I'm Ben Jammin. I have a little bit of a history in this NFT space. I don't want to make this too much about me at all, but I want to let the Chicken Derby game speak for himself, and our co-creator here, I want him to introduce himself to the community. We want to make sure that this game and this project has a good reception within the community, has longevity, has good founders that are working on these projects. You know how I always dig deep into whatever projects I'm looking at. And I spent a lot of hours with this gentleman here already on the phone. So we've gotten to know each other pretty closely. Our teams have already been speaking, and there's a lot of cool things going on. So I'm excited for you guys to all see this project.
Awesome, man. Thank you for coming. Listen, your reputation kind of precedes you, and it speaks for itself. I think right now you're one of the apes that people look at in terms of whether, you're interested in a project. And it's funny because just recently somebody was trying to pitch me land right beside you over in the sandbox, try to sell me some land at like insane amount of ETH,
Oh no!
Just because Ben Jammin is there.
Oh, they gave
That's
you the
your
premium.
reputation, man.
Oh man, I'm sorry for that, bro. I would love to have you be my neighbor.
Awesome. All right, Chicken Derby, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm the chief chicken derby master, fryer, and we cooked up a project called the Chicken Derby, and it just went viral, semi-viral, but it's starting to get some traction. And I've been building games since 2008. My first project was a virtual world. Back then we didn't have NFTs, and everything was built on top of Flash. I don't know if you guys still remember Flash, but those were the good old days. If we had NFTs back then I think things will be definitely much more interesting. But I'm glad that we are starting this whole revolution right now. And a little bit of my professional background. So I started working in 2008 on gaming. It was a virtual project. So it was like a whole world for children where we had like educational learning elements. It was all adaptive. There were over 10 or 20 different locations and many games integrated within the world. There were like collaborations with big educational companies to provide all the educational material. And basically that was my first project. I was an ambitious guy, young guy, started a little bit naively, and eventually built something great. And we had over like 150,000 children playing, many schools connected. So it was really interesting. But back at the time, I wasn't really resonating well with the whole project. I started a little bit with a idealistic idea, but eventually after 4 years, it was also really ambitious. We had 20 games inside of a virtual world, and I was like bootstrapping the whole project. And with a skeleton team, we were working really hard to build it. And then, as a side project, just for fun, I developed a weed game called Ganja Farmer. And no expectations, just I wanted to do something that I could tell my friends, like, hey, I have this weed game, check it out, and we can have some laughs. But once we launched it, prior to the launch, it's a little bit similar what's happening now, because before we even launched it, the community was already building. And once we did launch it, the timing was just there. The mobile revolution started. We were like the first weed game on the app stores, so that was like a controversial thing back then, and it exploded. So it started as a fun side project, and then all the focus pivoted into the weed game. I've been working on it ever since. We did over 200 updates. We have like over 100,000 5-star ratings. Yeah, you should play it. Check it out. It's a fun game. And then the whole NFT craze started. And one of the things that came into my radar was like the very first project, like CryptoKitties. It showed like some perspective, but I wasn't there yet. But I did a deep dive into the whole technical side of it, and found it fascinating. But I just wasn't there yet. And then the CryptoPunks craze happened, and then I did another deep dive into this whole NFT revolution, and then I just went down the rabbit hole and decided that this is like the future. It solves like major problems within the gaming ecosystem, and if we don't jump on this train, then basically in 5 years, I think the whole gaming ecosystem that we know right now will be transformed. I don't think that people that play a NFT based game will ever want to go back to a traditional game. Just to show an example, and then I will close it off. Within our game, we have like thousands of players, and then we occasionally have like a big whale come in, and they spend like $2, $3, $4,000 within one day. So they buy up all the diamonds and then buy all the in-game items, and they just go crazy. And usually they stay around for a few days and then they just disappear. But they paid a huge sum of money. And every time when I saw that, my gut feeling, of course, I'm happy as a game developer. I think, wow, that's cool. But my gut feeling said like, okay, this guy just played a game that we built, and once he's done playing, all that energy is lost. All the value, that all the hours and money that he put in that game is basically gone, and he cannot do anything with it. So that's the light bulb moment for me, and I just went into the NFT space and haven't looked back ever since.
Oh man, that speaks to me so much. When I discovered NFTs in February, I've been playing FIFA on console and addicted to FIFA Ultimate Team for 11 years. I'm like called a founder
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah.
And every year I would basically put money in and trade practically for a living just so I could get Ronaldo. and then Messi, and then
Nice.
Ibrahimovic. So I just always wanted
Nice.
to have the best team you could. And then they started releasing Pelé and Maradona, like the legends. And I would literally use my real money and my time to trade on a platform just so I can get the utility I wanted, which was, getting the best players in the game. But I always felt so let down at the end of the year when it was all over and a new season starting and you got to start from zero again. As an investor, as a gamer, I always felt let down. And I always thought this is not sustainable for FIFA. Someday this is going to end. And the day I discovered NFTs, the same light bulb hit where, that's my vision for the future of gaming. So
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
definitely relate to that.
Right.
and only the diehards know this problem, right? And the early adapters it's like a really small niche right now, but once the cat is out of the bag, you cannot get it back. It's just will I think it will cannibalize the whole industry. I think it will tenfold the gaming market. That's what
Yeah.
I personally think what will happen.
Yeah, and you got to think about all the kids who are playing all these games like Roblox, and Fortnite and Minecraft, and you're paying for all of these skins and accessories and all these things that you're never gonna keep, right? Like to your point, and my nieces and nephews, they almost don't want anything for gifts anymore besides Robux. Like just get them Robux, and then they spend it that day, and then the next day they're asking for more. And like if they were able to keep that and that appreciate over time, because they're growing with these platforms and with Web3 and everything that's going to be happening, they're going to be getting value for the time that they put in. Because I know that I put in a lot of time with video games over the years, and if I was able to keep a lot of the things like with Madden Ultimate Team, being able to keep my players from season to season, like you were talking about with FIFA. So yeah, there's a huge element to that coming to blockchain, and that's honestly what my favorite part of blockchain is the gaming aspect coming up, and I'm super excited about that. And that's why I made sure to join up with Chicken Derby and speak their praises essentially wherever I go, which probably
Oh yeah, man. Hey, look,
I'm
this
glad
is
to have you join.
what caught my attention was, the viewers will have seen the intro video of the Chicken Derby, and obviously that video really caught my attention. I feel like right now the community is starving for more utility than what's being offered by a lot of the NFTs. I mean, most of us are into Top Shot, and we're still starving for some utility there. A lot of people are really, really big on Zed, which obviously we can draw some comparisons to what we know about the chickens to Zed. And the rest are just a lot of art and avatars, which I'm not that into. I love the apes. I'm in the apes for the utility of the community. But as soon as I saw this, I know this is me. This combines gaming, fun. I showed it to my kids. They're going crazy. They're like, "Oh my god, I want to play that game." It kind
What
of
did you think of when you first saw it, or when you at least first heard of it? When I first mentioned it to you, like, were you surprised about it? Like, what were your first thoughts upon hearing about Chicken Derby?
My first thoughts was, wow, this is what I'm waiting for. It's like a combination of Zed Run, Angry Birds, right? And I don't know maybe we can talk about the usability of it and how how much you control chickens, how much you don't, and all that fun stuff. But my first thought was, okay, this is something that I want to play. This is something that looks like a lot of fun. And that's enough for me. And that's actually a lot more than a lot of NFTs are offering already. And by the way, as I said to Ben Jammin before, that video is genius, and that's more marketing than I've already seen a lot of NFTs do as well. So you're off to an awesome start, and this is why I reached out, and I just absolutely had to talk to you. So tell us a little bit about the game itself, the vision for the game, where you see this going over the next while.
Sure. So one of the things that excites me is the element of fun. I don't like really serious topics or really serious experiences. I just more of a casual guy, and trying to have a good time. And when I start with designing a game, one of the things I really look for is like, how hilarious is this? Is it like fun to play, fun to watch? And within Ganja Farmer, we really captured that. I just put in the spirit, like humor. It's just one of the drivers for me building games. And yeah, we looked around. We drawed some different chickens. Eventually, we found a good combination of elements that really make it a fun chicken, because you could also make a realistic chicken or like a diamond chicken. There are million variations, and the whole creative process is really chaotic. You go left and right, and eventually end up with chickens. That's also something that's really interesting how that turned out. But yeah, I think the
And was
universe
it
has
always
a
chickens? Was your vision like was it always or that was it always chickens in your vision, or that just grow organically from other pets or whatever and became chickens?
no, the whole chicken game was just basically I cannot even describe it how it happened. I was just pivoting all the time. I was just trying, like, okay, we are seeing this whole industry evolve. We need to pivot our whole game studio towards this. So the first idea was like, okay, let's make a wheat game. Let's like make a variation of Ganja Farmer on the blockchain. And then we started working on that, and then we just started thinking like, maybe it's fun to have like some chickens inside of the game, and maybe it's just fun to raise the chickens. And eventually I decided like, okay, if we build like a complete version of Ganja Farmer, we will be working like a year to 2 years, right? So it will be a long roadmap. So we need to find something that is not easy, but where we can, with a good team, like if we scale the team, we can really focus our energy towards one thing instead of multiple features and multiple elements and like a complete project that is just huge where you work 2 years. We just decided, okay, let's do this. We could build out a initial MVP within a few months, 2 to 3 months. So yeah, I talked with a few people. They found the chicken idea really funny. Um, and yeah, I was thinking, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's just do the chickens. And now we are here
And I love
with the
that you
chicken
made
game.
that decision to sort of do something that's within a specific time frame, because we like NFT investors, as I've learned, we all have ADD. And like we really, there's like a drop every single day that,
Right.
and people are just jumping from one to the other. And you know, a 2 year outlook is like 24 years in the NFT space, right?
Right.
Lifetime.
Yeah, that's basically the problem I had with my first project. I wanted like to build a whole virtual world with 20 games and multiple locations and educational partners and everything. And then 4 years later, I was doing that, and many projects that started off small eventually became really big companies. And that was like a learning moment for me. Like, okay, you just need to plant some seeds. You need to make something that is fun, stays fun, and is really sustainable, and then you can grow from there, right? Because you need to start somewhere. You need a starting point, and it shouldn't be a starting point that takes up 4 years of your life, because life's precious, right?
Right. Right.
Time is a
Especially in
valuable
this
thing,
space
and
too. And 4 years in
exactly.
NFT space is a lifetime.
Who knows
Yeah,
where we'll
four
be
years.
in 4 years?
Right. Right.
I'm yeah. I think we will be in a highly efficient market with highly efficient technology. All the boilerplate coding that we are seeing right now will be gone. Everything will be just plug and play. And
Yeah, with many
Right.
more immersive devices that create, you know, an immersive experience, whether it's, you know, VR, AR, MR, or haptics technology. Like, I think gaming, because of the hardware, because of NFTs and blockchain and the creativity coming from gamers like yourself, like, I see gaming in 4 years being so different than it is today, where you're tied to a controller and you're either tied to a controller and a console, or you're kind of on a mobile device or a tablet, right? Or a PC. I think that's all
yeah,
going to change very soon.
we are just scratching the surface here. We are entering a stakeholder economy, and it's just going to make everything much more fair, um, much more evenly distributed. Um, it's just started, and I'm excited to see where it's going to end and how it's going to evolve, and even what the next step after this will be. Um, because we are so early, it's just unimaginable. Um, the Cambrian explosion that we will see here is just going to be amazing.
I love it. So tell us, at this point, everybody's seen the video. Tell us a little
Hmm.
bit about the game experience itself.
Sure, sure. So we have like a fun approach towards the game. Um, we put much more emphasis on the story behind the chickens. So the different breeds will have their own storyline, and we are currently making wireframes for the next video. It's going to be like 20-30 seconds long, but there we will introduce the different breeds and what their story is. I cannot tell too much, but it's going to be really fun. And each breed will have like their own talent, and
Okay.
you saw a little bit of those talents in the first video. We
Machine
will
gun chicken, man. That just got my attention.
that was my idea.
I
The
love that.
catapult, the catapult is fantastic. Throwing you from the back of the race to the
That's right.
front, like, that's gonna piss so many
Yeah.
people off.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also one of the things that makes like Mario Kart. It's one of the fun elements of racing that game is all the random things that are happening that are outside of your control. So you could be at the first place, and then you just something happens and someone shoots you down, or you become a tiny cart and you fall back into place. So that's also within the game design world, one of the benchmarks that you want to reach, like that element of competition, with the unexpected moments that are just unpredictable, fun to watch. And yeah, all those elements fell into place here. And yeah, I really like that part. It's really it's a really a powerful potion. So
Nice.
yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna be able to name our chickens, correct?
right, right. So we created a whole list of names, but I had some doubts. I was like, right, some predefined names. Maybe that's not fun enough. So after sawing all the talk in Discord, I just decided, okay, I already had doubts about pre-naming the chickens, so we just removed that and let people go wild and name their own chickens. I think, yeah, some funny names will come out of it.
I think that was a genius decision. I for sure. I think I saw already in the Discord people are pretty pumped that they're going to be able to name their chickens, and they're already coming up with some pretty clever names for the chickens. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
funny.
so tell us a little bit about everybody. What they always want to know is what does the roadmap look like, right? Again, we all got ADD. We want to know when can we get a chicken? When can we race a chicken? Where can we shoot a chicken with machine gun chicken? So tell us little bit about what we can expect over the next whatever time frame you have in mind. So can you describe to us sort of the different phases? And I know people are dying to know. In particular, I think it was announced that I'm not sure if I can't remember what it was called, an alpha release or I don't know, at some point, we're going to be able to get into a pre-release of some sort or something. So can you describe that
Yeah,
for us?
yeah. So there will be a closed beta for all the early chicken adapters, and yeah, there we will just work with a small group of players um, in different amounts. So every version will be tested and polished and worked out, so that everything just runs smoothly. Yeah, I expect each quarter to reach a different phase, and yeah, we are going to hit the ground running. Our team is already working in the background on the infrastructure. We already have like a front end developer that has experience with Web3 integrations and all the coding skills that is needed. So we are laying the foundation as we speak for this first phase. And then once we done the chicken sale, we are just going to scale the team. So we are increasing like the developers. We are also increasing our animation team so that we can add like real interactive animations for all the talents. There will be a lot. Yeah, and like that, we will just work phase by phase, keep the community involved. Everyone that wants to apply for the beta can join. We are going to announce that soon, and there will be like a subscription, like you can enter your email, give us like some details on your device, on what browsers you use, so that once we start testing, we all have all that data. And yeah,
So
we will
with your
slowly let people in.
experience in gaming, do you anticipate that we'll be able to play this on mobile and on PC?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
But I'm not sure if Google will be happy to allow us. They are kind of reluctant with this whole crypto and NFT revolution, but we were definitely making it mobile friendly, easy to load. So it's basically from your browser in the
Right.
beginning, and then once the whole ecosystem is accepted, and hopefully Google will accept it soon, then we just deploy it on the App Store and the Google Store and everywhere else where we are allowed. Yeah, then you can play.
Yeah, one of the things I caught on to in your roadmap that I making assumptions around is in phase 2, you describe as that you're gonna allow more races, and so that made me think. So phase 1, when you said we're gonna hit the ground running, does that mean we're gonna mint? I assume actually it's gonna be a minting process with eggs, and we'll get chicken. Will we get chickens randomly minted, or will we choose what chickens we purchase?
No, it's going to be random so that people cannot cherry pick the best
Okay,
chickens. Um,
I love it. I love
I
it.
saw I saw that you guys are really good in deciphering the whole logic behind like Zed Run, like all the spreadsheets and all the calculations, and I think people even hire engineers to find the best horse. So we just decided like, no, we are doing this random, and yeah, it will be an instant reveal. This we decided today, and yeah, and then
Awesome. Okay, so we'll buy the eggs, we'll mint our chickens, we'll get our chickens, and it sounds like in phase 1, I don't think I'm making a bad assumption here, is we're going to get to race our chickens in phase 1 for those in the private beta.
yeah.
Oh man,
exactly.
I'm so pumped.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Poppy,
Exactly.
take note that so that's phase 1 right there, and then this roadmap has to do with the funding goals. So if they hit 10% of that funding, then 2 to 3 months after that, that first phase 1's coming out, and then once that's over, then another 2 to 3 months, the next phase is coming out. So it's pretty logical, sequential. They know a plan. They're going to do their best to execute on that roadmap, and you have these different phases that are essentially getting more demand each step of the way, because you can still be buying, selling, and trading these chickens as NFTs along the way. So you're not just sitting around doing nothing. You have plenty to do in between these phases, especially since there's going to be a game to play. So it's super exciting, and there's a lot in this roadmap for them to unpack, and there's a lot of details that haven't been fully publicized yet that are going to be really, really exciting for people, especially the ones who are fans of Zed, but maybe want a little more fun and a little less data, I guess I would say. So you're not digging as deep and getting crazy with it. You're having a lot more fun with it, which is, for me, I love entertainment, and I'm going to like watching these races a lot more than I would with the Zed race.
That is such an interesting point to make, because I should have aped into Zed Run right after Top Shot, because I heard about it right after Top Shot. And I'm a gamer at heart. That the only thing that stopped me from diving into Zed Run was literally time, because time is kind of the most important thing that I have right now. And I love what you said there, is that maybe a little bit less data driven, a little bit. I kind of feel, and don't get me wrong, I love Zed Run, so I'm not shitting on it by any means. But I do feel like the game is played outside of the game. It's all played in the data analysis that you do. And it takes a little bit of enjoyment away from, discovering your horse and how he does and racing him a lot of times. And part of that is because everything just depends on odds and the data in the background. So I would love to see, this product sort of differentiate itself in that way of being just more fun and more appealing to use on a daily basis.
It's going to be more open to mass adoption because it's more of a fun type of game to play. Like kids would like to watch it, families would like to play it. Like Zed is fun, I like it, but it gets very repetitive watching the same kind of animation over and over. And I know they'll probably do something with that, but this game, I like to describe it, and I'm glad you said Angry Birds earlier. I like to describe it as a Zed Run / Mario Kart / Worms or Angry Birds, depending on which one you've played. And so I love that. I think there's a lot of entertainment value here to be seen that we don't see in any current games available on blockchain, at least.
Yeah, that's basically my goal here, to make it really fun and unexpected. It should just basically excite. Like, you think the chicken is winning, and then just one chicken goes in and starts shooting everyone. And we also have, like, outside of talents, we also have a feature. We are not sure how to name it yet, but we call it the Act of God. So some random event happens within the racetrack that you basically have no control over, and that's basically also one of the elements that's going to be added. But I cannot tell too much about it. The designer will get mad. Because we need to be careful with the information here. And
well, they saw one of them in the video with the lightning. So we're good, like roasted chicken or fried chicken. How do you categorize that?
Yeah, fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Crispy chicken.
Crispy chicken, yes! I love that. I love that. So one question I'm dying to ask, you don't have to answer it. Is the game like Zed Run, where there's an algorithm and the algorithm determines what happens? Or is there any way to impact the game as a gamer by whatever, clicking buttons and learning how to play the game itself?
There are some ideas if you go to the customization part of the roadmap. I think it's phase 4. We are going to allow, like, customization where you can style your chicken, but there's also an idea, and I'm really careful in mentioning that idea, but where we want to add jockeys on top of the chicken. So you have, like, a character sit on top of the chicken, and there are.
Can we get our apes to do that? Can we get some bored apes in there sitting on top of the chickens?
Oh,
hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Let's go.
Yeah, that's possible. If the board ape team allows us to work together technically, and we could, like, get all the attributes and like the logic behind the generation of the apes, then we just could re-engineer that into our game and then have the apes riding the chickens. That's awesome. Definitely possible.
Shooting a gun facing backwards at the other chickens and apes.
Throwing bananas.
Oh man.
Oh, the bananas! I love it. I love it.
Throwing banana peels like Mario Kart. Make them slip on them. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for partnerships here, right? With all of these other avatar-based NFTs and maybe aliens too coming up and doing something funky.
That's basically the way I see it. Is there's an explosion of different avatars, and they are all looking for a place. They are all looking for a home. And you have like Sandbox, and you have the Decentraland, but you don't have like a 2D world yet. So everything is like 3D and with pixels. Um, so yeah, I think once we reach the final stage, like phase 6, the farm phase, we could definitely do some cool things where we could allow developers to import their own avatars. So we could like make some simple API where they just can implement their and import their avatars into the game, and then you could walk around with your ape or with your me bits or with whatever creation someone can think of. And that's one thing that really excites me about this whole technology. It opened up all the systems. Right now we are all in closed systems, and we can just go into an open network where all the different developers and all the different projects can basically be incorporated and uh, work perfectly inside of each other's world or game.
So one of the other things that caught, I think, a lot of people's attention so far that I've talked to about the project is, the population of the chickens. So you plan to release 33,333 chickens. And, the immediate reaction that you're going to hear from this is some of us are very scarred by NBA Top Shot and the oversaturation of moments in the marketplace. And so I think a lot of people are very interested in knowing, okay, what is the release schedule for these, or what is the idea behind that number? And are they going to be all released at once, or are you planning to release these over a long period of time?
Right. So there is a hidden element in your question, and that's basically a supply and demand element. You don't want to have like an oversupply of NFTs, and it could be chickens or it could be NBA Top Shots. You need to have it like fixed, just like Bitcoin did. You have a fixed supply, and then once demand increases, then then the value rises. And it's just inside gaming. It's really important to have things like balanced out. Like you don't want players to have too much coins because then they can buy everything, but you don't want to have them like too less coins, then they cannot do anything. It's like a problem we had in Ganja Farmer, and that's basically an inflation problem. And the good thing here is you have like a fixed amount, and once that amount is sold, then you have a whole community behind the game that basically has a stake in the game, and they will act like merchants. So they will bring more players in, and if a new player want to enter, then either he has to buy a chicken or he has to buy a chicken that has been bred. So you need an NFT to enter the game, and we have like a perfectly balanced out logic behind the whole supply and demand question. And then to answer your question about the phases, that's not decided yet. It's basically still a little bit undecided. So I cannot say anything there, but
Sure.
we are going to announce something soon. What the decision will be.
Great. Yeah, I like that. And so, I know I'm really pumped about this, and I think this button might be new. I don't know if I noticed it yesterday, but maybe that's just me. But so if people want to get in early on this project into the private beta, how would you suggest that they keep in touch? I will definitely link the Discord, and I'll link your Twitter. Is that the
Yeah.
way that we're going to find out the news of when we can ape into this one?
Yes. Yes. We did a professional revamp of the Discord channel today. It's been a great job, and yeah, we are just communicating there. We also are connecting on Twitter. It's those two channels are just amazing, and yeah, maybe in the future we could add like more communication tools. But for now, those two are the main ways to stay in touch and be up to date.
Yeah, definitely. Those are the most two popular things going right now. And the way that we look at things, or at least I look at things, is once you're in the Discord, you are a fan, you're in there. So there's a lot of different ways that as a platform and company, we can reward the people who are in there and give back to early collectors and just make sure that to be in there is a benefit. So yeah, there's always going to be things that happen through Twitter and we'll announce stuff. But for the most part, like if there's raffles or little things like that, like we want people to be in the in the Discord and within the environment and talking with the other people who are fans and love what's going on. And Twitter's great and we use it and we love doing giveaways and retweets and we get a lot of people and attention there. But you want to bring those people into the Discord so they're immersed in what's going on and you get those updates before other people. So there's a lot of benefit to being in the Discord and learning more as you go and just kind of getting an edge before other people can understand how to go into it. And think about like if you were able to be in the Zed Run chat early on, getting all the tips from the people who are figuring these things out. So by the time that all the latecomers come in, you kind of have a little bit of an edge on how to use the platform, what's good, what's not, how to breed, how to race. So there's a lot of different things and then also a lot of possibilities within the platform itself that we'll be able to use these different mediums of communication. And one of those, I really want Chicken Derby to talk about the world that they have planned for this, which is super exciting. So between the social media and the internal world that they have, I think people can really feel an immersive experience joining this platform, that there's more to do than just buy an NFT.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So Discord is basically the place to be. If you want to be in the inner circle, you join there. And we also look closely what questions people have and what suggestions they have and like the whole username feature. It's basically you stay connected, you join us in the trenches, and yeah, we post everything there first, so that the core people know what is going on. And
Yeah, I
I'm a
find these days if you're not if you're into NFTs and you're not on Discord, then you're missing out on way too much. It's
it,
not
Right.
the early NFT
it's
stuff is not for the passive investor gamer.
Yeah, and a lot of
exactly, yeah.
people really base their view on a project on not just if they have a Discord, but what is the Discord like? And is it engaged? And are people excited about it? Are they asking questions? Like, because I've gone into Discords, that of a project that's already launched and no one's talking. And that's a big problem, right? So having people engaged and excited about it and building demand as you go is really important. And that's something that we're definitely working on and keeping a big eye on how to keep everyone engaged.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Discord will be a huge part of the journey ahead, and it's basically I'm sold on Discord. It's a good way to keep everything organized, the information to have it really streamlined, and it's also a good archive. So you can go in and you can read what has been said and like what has been announced. It's just a great place for gaming in general. I'm sold.
Incredible. Hey, one other question I had for you regarding the blockchain of choice. So I noticed that the website says powered by Ethereum, and
Hmm.
you know what questions you're going to get when you see powered by Ethereum, right? Gas, latency, whatever. So are you
Yeah,
looking at an L2 solution? Is that something you can talk about? And I happen to notice that your roadmap slightly changed to kind of
yeah,
reference L2.
yeah. Exactly. It was already in our roadmap. We hadn't decided yet, and actually still haven't really decided yet if we will do the drop on the layer 2 and or on the main chain, but the game itself will be on layer 2 because otherwise it's just not it's just not feasible.
Right.
It won't sustain. And yeah, once I learned more about the whole technology behind the layer 2 side chains, I was basically sold. And it's also proven that it's working. Lots of big projects are running on top of it, so it shows me that there's some stability there, and that's a good choice to migrate to. And one of the cool things about it is you can work on the main chain, and then once you have everything built and everything working, you can migrate it towards layer 2, and it's basically a smooth transition. And, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think that will be very well received. I think that's one of the things, obviously, people really love about Zed Run is
Yeah,
having been on Matic and the experience and the gasless experience once they migrated over to Matic. So I'm glad that you're definitely taking that direction as well.
yeah, yeah. Of course, yes, yes. And we will pay for the fees, so there will be zero gas. Yeah, and just make it really user friendly. That's
That's
the goal
man,
there.
I am so pumped for this. You have no idea. Like honestly, I really mean that. I'm not just
Well,
saying that. I don't just say that about any project either.
I need to be honest here. Is this is like my very first interview ever, so it's really an honor for me to talk with you guys. I've been like working in the shadow with all my projects, like the first project with virtual world for kids. Well, all those kids are grown up now, so basically they didn't even know who the creators were. With Ganja Farmer, the same. Like 7 million players, they don't know who's behind the project. So this is basically my coming out. Like, okay, I'm gonna show my face and reach out and really connect with the community because what's currently happening here, this magical moment, it's just too valuable to pass out on. And yeah, it's really strong. It resonates strong with me. So yeah,
Yeah, and
a little bit
that's
nervous.
actually that's a really important thing too that I look at as an investor is, you know, have I actually seen the founders on camera? Can I relate to them? I get a little bit sketched out when their Discord like account was created 2 weeks before and they refuse to ever show up on camera. Then it's not. It doesn't necessarily mean that an anonymous team is going to fail or that it's a rug pull, but it is one of the factors, right? If you know the more that you communicate with the you know your future audience, then I think the more comfortable they're going to feel. And look, you've already brought to the table a lot of things that NFTs that I've invested in have not brought to the table. You have sort of this you know reputation of having built great products that children, adults used that have you know that obviously are successful. And like I said, you've done more marketing than I've seen already. You've got Ben Jammin by your side, man, which you know a lot of people trust. And so you're
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of things right now, and I'm super pumped for this. So congratulations on your past success, and I really hope that you know this works out. And I want to be on this journey along with you guys, and explore this world that you're building. I'm super pumped about it. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah,
Benjamin,
thanks.
any less comments?
No, man, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on. You know, we've had a good relationship so far through this whole NFT, crypto, blockchain space, and it was an honor to be on after you, after Schiller. And thanks for sticking around and watching. I didn't know that you were, and it was great. It was the first time I had mentioned it publicly, and the chat was going crazy, asking about what are these chickens he's talking about,
That's right.
and then yeah, we made the server, and early on, it was really just like one general channel. And then we ramped it up. There's a bunch of people in there now, and they're having a lot of fun. And really, I'm super excited about this. I really found out about this game, saw the video just like you did, got in touch with Dimitri that day, and then we had maybe 3 to 4 hours worth of phone calls within the next day and a half, because I was doing my spotlight. I was about to do the spotlight on them because I was really digging in. I wanted to know more about it. And then the conversation kind of came up that they needed help with the community. That's what my company does. We joined forces, and now it's going to be a powerhouse, man. And this is really going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of fun things to do here. And at the end of the day, one thing that wasn't mentioned is that there's longevity, not just in this project, but Dimitri mentioned the gaming company, right? So he has a gaming platform and company that he's pivoting to NFTs, and this is the first project, and there's longevity in being a part of this experience and this journey. And I don't know when there's an end date. I'm not putting one on this game by any means. I'm just saying that they have long-term vision. So being a part of this and being able to hear how they work and see what they do is really exciting and motivating to build and create and grow and just, you know, have a little bit more fun in this industry instead of waiting around for packs all the time.
That's right. I love that, man. I love that. Chicken Derby, any last words?
Well, thanks for the invite, and I'm always happy to connect. I'm glad that we had the chance to discuss in person and answer some questions. I hope I did a good job. If not, then we could have like a second round, and maybe we could have like a follow-up once the game is launched or the first beta is there and you guys are playing it. So yeah, let's have a long-term goal, build something that's really sustainable and can be enjoyed for years.
Awesome. Well, it's my honor to have you guys here. I appreciate you guys so much for coming on the channel and talking about this. This is definitely not the last time we're going to talk on this channel about Chicken Derby. Like I said, I'm going to follow this one closely. I'm going to be active in your Discord. I cannot wait till I can mint my first chicken. I'm in. So, you know, I'm in more. You said, you know, I hope I did a good job. Well, I'm in more than I was in 2 hours ago.
Right.
Just by listening to you speak and your vision for the project and your credibility that you bring to the table. I cannot wait to see what the future brings for this project. And for sure, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we progress.
You're so excited.
Dude, how can I not be? Yeah. This just brings everything
it.
together that I love, right? Like,
yep.
So, and I showed it to my kids, like I said, and they're like, "Oh my god, I want to raise chickens." It's a no-brainer.
Funny. Those are funny little creatures. Those chickens, like tiny dinosaurs.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for having us on, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So, like I said, I will definitely link the Discord. I will link Twitter. Anything else? We'll make sure we get everything down in the description so that people can ape in with us together and go on this Chicken Derby journey with us.
BitLovin website.
Yeah.
And the BitLovin website, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll see you. Like I said, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by, checking out now. Peace.